Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of A2Y. I am indeed your host, Addison Young, and I have yet another message for you guys. Today I'm kind of following a theme here. I'm changing the style of the show, if you haven't noticed. I'm going more from kind of a teaching, in which I got more lessons for you. I have like little lesson planning sessions before I record. Writing the script it's basically just lesson planning because I want to teach you guys how to go out in this world equipped with truth, biblical truth, which is the real truth in today's society, unlike what other people will tell you, and be able to use that in your life every day to counteract the craziness that is our society here in 2022. So today's lesson is, and this is going to be a shocker to some of you, you should be confrontational. I know, it's a little odd, especially if you're a Christian watching, because we're kind of told not to be confrontational about a lot of things. You know, in today's society, it's wrong to confront people on certain things because you could hurt their feelings or you could be obstructing their way of life. But, you know, insert whatever. You know, it's wrong to confront and it's wrong to make people feel bad. Because, you know, as long as something feels right, it can't possibly be wrong. Because it feels right. So it feels good. So, you know, good. Since it feels good, that means it's morally good and legally good, so it's all good, said every pot smoker ever. But that's just wrong. Just because something feels good does not mean it's the correct thing to do. You know, I will never forget when a youth pastor looked at us we were in the church, and so we were in the auditorium. He looked at us and he said this: "Do you think sin will come at you with a pitchfork and horns? No. It will come with a six-pack and a chiseled jaw." He also had a version for the girl. I don't remember exactly how that goes. But I remember him looking us all in the eye. Because he went like one by one. There's like 25 of us. And he still went one by one, looked us all in the eye and went, "You just said this. You think sin is going to come at you with pitchfork and horns? No. It will come with a six-pack and a chiseled jaw." And I want you to think about that. Like, everything that is wrong is not going to be, with a big sign, the circle with the line through it. It's not going to have that sign being like, we are the wrong thing to do. We will be detrimental to you and your life. It's not how it works. It's going to disguise itself the wrong and try to portray itself as if it's perfect and it's fine. And it's all good. Good times, good feelings. It's all great, right? No. That's not how it is in reality. We got to snap back to reality, escape the fun, avoid looking at those perfect abs, and get down to the root of things. And when you get down to the root of things, you get to the truth. And here's your biblical truth for the day. The first verse we're going to look at is Matthew 18, chapter 18, verses 15 through 17. "If your brother sins against you, tell him it is his fault between you and him alone." So confront one-on-one. "If he listens to you, you have gained your brother. But if he does not listen, take one or two others along with you, that every charge may be established by the evidence of two or three witnesses. If he refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church. And if he refuses to listen to it says, if he refuses to listen to even the church, let him be to you as a Gentile and a tax collector." Now, that last part is just kind of almost funny to me nowadays. I mean, it's saying be as though the Gentile was people who live completely different from the Jews at the time, which is when this was written, and everyone hates taxes. And I want you to think about that. So what's the first step of confrontation, of healthy, good confrontation here? You go one-on-one. You go to your friend, you go to your, whoever, and be like, "Yo, you're doing this, and I'm sorry, it's not good. It's not healthy. It's not okay for you to be doing this. It's just not right." And if they're like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm going to stop this. Can you help me out with it?" Great. You have earned them back into the light. But if they're like, "I don't know what you're talking about. That's ridiculous," blow you off, then you go and you get witnesses, then you come. If that doesn't work, then you got to bring them to a bigger organization such as the church, and try to hold them accountable there. It's the same, piggybacking off the accountability lesson from last week. We all need to have more accountability in our lives, and in order to hold that accountability, we have to be a little confrontational. We got to confront each other to hold each other accountable. And speaking of, holding yourself accountable, it comes to our next verse, Galatians 6, verse 1. Brothers, if anyone is caught in any transgression, you who are spiritual should restore him in a spirit of gentleness. Keep watch on yourself, lest you be tempted. So it commands you here in Galatians to go out and restore them with gentleness. Go out and confront them, still confront them, but be gentle about it. Don't be a giant butt, which can be hard sometimes because it's really easy to be a giant butt. I mean, it takes way less effort to be a giant butt. But that's not what you're supposed to do. You got to confront them with gentleness. And at the same time, again, piggybacking up the accountability from last week, you have to be able to hold yourself accountable and keep watch on yourself, lest you too be tempted. If you're confronting your buddy because he's eating too much, and you're like, homie, you got to quit eating so much ice cream, and then you go home and eat a gallon of ice cream, you have no credibility because you didn't hold yourself accountable. Yes, I know I said credibility. I'm going to stick with it now. Credibility. You lack all the credibility because you don't have accountability. Wow, cannot English. You don't have accountability with yourself, which is leading you to be unable to confront them and hold them accountable. And then you end up with what we have in today's society of an endless cycle of no accountability because we can't confront each other because we're not holding ourselves accountable. You see what's going on here? We got to confront ourselves first. Look into yourself, confront your issues, hold yourself accountable to those issues, reprimand yourself and fix your issues, and then once you've, like last week, once you've dragged the skeletons out and you're starting to patch the holes in your house, then you can go and confront your brothers and sisters and be like, yo, we got to fix this. We got to stop doing this. We need to start doing this, whatever. But you have to be the one to take the first step. You got to look in yourself. You got to hold yourself accountable to your mistakes. And then you can go out and confront others and try to help them fix their mistakes. So always watch yourself and control your rough edges. Make sure they're refined so that you have a credibility. And then look at your friends and help them not make the same mistakes that you had to hold yourself accountable for. And then instead of a cycle of no accountability and no confrontation, we'll get a cycle of healing, of accountability, not no accountability, but of having accountability, and a healthy society in which we can keep going as long as we're needed. Thank you for watching this week's episode of A2Y, and I will see you next time.